Reports suggest that Milk Association is under pressure from farmers to seek price increase led by surge in input costs for farmers. How have demand trends been? What is the outlook for the upcoming summer season? To discuss all this and more, we now have Mr. R.S. Sodhi, President of Indian Dairy Association, now joining us. Mr. Sodhi, thank you so much for taking your time out. And first things first, reports suggest that the Dairy Association has been under immense pressure from farmers to seek price increase, and the discussion is to increase prices by about 5 rupees per litre. How true are these reports, and how much could prices increase by? And if at all they were to increase, by when could the increase come in?
You are right. In few states, some of the milk producer organizations have requested or asked for some 2 to 5 rupees per litre increase in the milk. And I think they're right. Because for farmers, milk or any agriculture produces the income. And inflationary pressure is there on the farmers. So they want to increase their income. But before I tell you whether it is right, wrong, etc., let me tell you about the positive aspects of the milk or the dairy. We all know that today inflation in food is highest. November is around 9%. But let me tell you, among all the food, because food contributes around 40% of average household expenditure, milk is lowest. Milk inflation or milk price inflation is only 2.5%. And if I tell you, last 2 years, milk prices have increased only by 4 rupees a litre, which is around 7 to 8% in 2 years. So 3 to 4%. So one is that price increase to the consumer is minimum in milk. Now, when you come to the farmer side, they are right. Today, most part of the India, farmers are getting 4 to 5 rupees per litre lower than the prices they used to get 2 years back. No doubt last year prices are reduced considerably, but 2 years back they were getting 4 to 5 rupees higher. And this price reduction in sale, except in some states where cooperatives are very strong, farmers are getting more or less same price, no increase in the farmer's price. So farmers under pressure.
Farmers are under pressure and they've indeed sought higher prices for milk produced. But Mr. Sodhi, as far as demand is concerned, if you can give us a sense of how demand consumption trends have been from rural versus urban. We talked to a lot of FMCG companies and most of them have highlighted demand concerns in urban area. You help us understand, is demand from urban area indeed a concern for you?
Dairy as such, let me tell you, when you talk about demand, is mainly urban and the tier 2, tier cities. Because in the rural, locally they produce, locally they consume. No doubt some value-added products like ice cream, cheese, sweets, paneer, that is going from the process sector. So that is the one side. But let me tell you, definitely there is a pressure. The growth rate in demand for value-added or even the fresh product like milk, buttermilk, etc., is less than what it used to be previous. The growth rate which used to be around 8 to 10% the volume, I'm not talking about value, which the previous 5 years, this year 24 and 25, it has reduced to only 3 to 4%. So growth rate has reduced to half because I think maybe because of consumers' purchasing power has reduced, and when your spend is reduced, you intend to or you try to spend less on food. And when dairy is contributing 19% of the food expenditure, so it is also impacted. But it is still better than the other food items where practically there's no growth. That may be because in dairy, the price increase has been minimum.
Price increase in the dairy industry has been minimum and growth indeed has slowed down. That's the word coming in. But Mr. Sodhi, I understand we are in a seasonally weak period when it comes to demand for ice cream and lassi. But now with intensifying competition from several new players and several regional players, what's your outlook on ice cream, lassi and curd for the upcoming summer season?
Well, firstly, let me tell you, as far as demand, you mentioned 3 to 4%, but 2025, it will be better. it will be around 6 to 7% minimum volume growth. Reason is simple, because of practically no price increase, which demand is increasing. Coming to the demand, off-season demand of ice creams, etc. Let me tell you, fortunately, this year summer has been extended as compared to the previous year. So demand for ice cream this year, volume growth has been, most of the brands have registered around 10 to 15% volume growth. And let me tell you, as far as competition is concerned, like in ice cream, there are more than 200 brands. And everybody is growing, let me also tell you. So overall industry is growing. And now with the winter already which has come, definitely demand is reduced to 1/3. But we expect good demand of ice cream, lassi or summer products in this summer.
So the outlook for the upcoming summer season is very positive, although demand was muted in the last quarter. But India, talking about such slightly longer term trends, and India is the largest milk producer in the world and accounts for nearly 25% of total world production. India also has the potential to boost export opportunities for milk as well as milk products. Help us understand how India as a country and you as an association are working on increasing milk exports from India.
With the increase in milk production, I think export is going to be very important for Indian milk producers. We have to continue to give them good price. Till now, total export of dairy products has been very small, around 2,500 crore per annum to 3,000 to 4,000 crore, depending on the commodity price. And most of the time, in commodity price, we are not competitive. Like today, skim milk powder, Indian market price are 240 to 250 rupees per kg. International market is around 220, 230. So we are not able to export. Definitely in butter or fat, we have become competitive by more than 50 to 100 rupees per kg. So a lot of export of fat is happening this year. But in the coming years or decades, India has to work for export of dairy products. We have to continue to grow. And because last decade, our growth is around 5.6%. And by 2047, we may be having around 50 to 100 million metric tons of extra milk for export. For that, we have to improve our cost of production. We have to improve our quality. And also we have to work with the whole global trade body to reduce or to eliminate the entry barrier, because most of the world's biggest dairy importing countries, they don't allow Indian dairy products. So that needs to be worked on.
India clearly has the opportunity to export milk as well as milk products. That's the word coming in. Mr. Sodhi, thank you so much for taking your time out and speaking on a whole host of issues related to the dairy industry. Shifting focus to our next segment, Did You Know? And today we put the spotlight on sugar. Sugar was introduced in the West as a spice and not really as a sweetener. Sugar is being consumed by humans since ancient times, with its origins in the Indian subcontinent. The three biggest producers of sugar are Brazil, India, and the European Union. Sugar can also function as a preservative to protect certain food from spoiling. It can help preserve the color, texture, and flavor of the food. With that, we slip into a short break, but don't go anywhere. Budget exclusives coming up on the other side.